Continuing with cleaning technologies, but maybe the word solvent isn't entirely appropriate, to discuss the buzz surrounding wet cleaning at the moment. It's my pleasure to introduce Rob Dixon from Miele. Rob.
Good morning. That's it, everybody can hear. Okay, well, my name is Rob Dixon. I'm the National Sales Manager for Miele Professional. Kindly asked by the organisers to come and talk about wet care, which I think all of the stands today are seeing there's a lot of interest in wet care. Just for your information, my speciality is laundry equipment. So I've brought a few colleagues. I've brought a Dr. Manfred Zeiter, who is the Chief Chemist for Chrysler, so should there be any questions on chemicals, Manfred will help me out. A German, speaks very good English. I've got Massimo Sanvito, who is the Export Director for Pony, an Italian that speaks very good English. And you've got Rob Dixon here, who is English, but doesn't speak very good English, because he's from the northeast of England. So apologies if you can't understand, but we'll try our best to talk slow down. So, solvents of the future, professional fabric care for the future. And I think the important thing that I want to say here is there's a lot of word going around the industry that wet care is the be all and end all and it's going to take over dry cleaning equipment. That's not true. It's just going to be seen, well, it's not going to be seen, it's going to be seen as an alternative to dry cleaning, because not every garment can be cleaned with wet care. The one guy I forgot to introduce is Kem Hackey, who's probably been the longest established wet cleaner. Kem's been doing wet care for 2.5, and again a Greek that speaks very good English, or Cypriot that speaks very good English. There's been extensive research and development that's been conducted to bring an alternative to the marketplace. It was developed 25 years ago by Miele Company and Chrysler, and as I say, listening and seeing the interest, it's becoming a very topical alternative. As I've just mentioned, it's been about for a long time. The aim of the development was to develop a safe, biodegradable detergent process that uses water and chemicals to wash the items that are some items that's normally dry cleaned. Again, quite a wide range there. There's quite a few reports being done at the minute that between 30 to 70% of garments dry cleaned in PERC can be wet cleaned. Now that varies from dry cleaner to dry cleaner. Kem, for dry cleaner by Olivia's, is doing about 70 to 75% of his work has been wet cleaned. The average dry cleaner at the minute, who are a little bit sceptical, is doing 50 to 60%. There is a couple in the audience that's actually doing, I think I'm looking at the lady now, I've never met her yet, is doing 100%, but that's not something that Miele Company say that you can do 100% of. I was in Kem's last week, and he said, look at this, and just took a couple of garments, one that had gone through the dry clean process and one that had gone through the wet clean process. That's a linen suit, and I think you can see that, you know, there is a slight difference in the quality and finish. How does it work? It uses commercial washers and dryers. That's one of the beauties of the wet care machines, and again, whether it be Miele or other brands that are here today, the good thing about this is that it's a dual source. So yes, it can do your wet care, but more importantly, it can do your general laundry. So if you've got duvets, you've got pillows, you've got pillowcases, you've got general day-to-day laundry, the machine is not adapted, it is a standard laundry washer. One of the benefits we see we've got is on the honeycomb drum that gives gentle fabric care. It uses water and detergents, basically to get the garments clean. 99% of the machines will be automatically soap-dosed, so there's no need to have to put chemicals in at a certain time. Again, many chemical manufacturers here today that's got wet care chemicals. We believe the secret of our success is the relationship that we've got with our chemical supplier. And again, finished equipment, you do need finished equipment. There's been a lot of people come downstairs to the stand and said, so if I buy that washer and that tumble dryer, I can do wet care. That is not the case. You need the right chemicals, but you do need the finished equipment. And again, no promotion, that's the partner we partner with, but there are many finished manufacturers here today. How effective is wet care? Again, I can only speak from the process that we adapt in that we probably go against the grain in that we have very, very low dip levels and we have very, very slow drum rotation. So for a wet care process, we use about 54 litres of water. Again, really important because what you put in has got to go down the drain, so they've got effluent charges, etc., etc. 27 litres in the pre-wash, 27 litres in the main wash. As I mentioned, very slow drum rhythm. Again, we've got to be careful of this fabric care, so very, very slow drum rhythms, gentle. And it's the opposite to laundry. In a laundry machine, the machine would agitate for 57 seconds and rest for 3. In wet care, again, because we've got to care for the garments, it's the totally opposite. It actually agitates for 3 seconds and rests for 57. And it's the chemicals that's doing the work cleaning the garments. So a little bit different to the normal process. Again, exact temperature control. I think the average temperature is 30 degrees, and that gives a top-class quality wash. However, machines can be programmed to suit whatever the garment temperature needs to be. One of the big benefits for wet cleaners or dry cleaners is the process time. 22-minute wash and around about a 3-minute dry, just to condition the garments. So again, you can see the wash and dry is 25 minutes, and then of course you've got the finishing on top of that. But that, you're going to get 2 washes probably for every one, so I've been told of the alternative process. And again, high G-force is important. What we want is, we want the washing machine to do the work. High spin speed is important, but it's not important. The important factor with wet care is the G-force. And our particular machine that's becoming the most popular one of ours offers 500 G. And the only way that, I don't know if anybody understands G factor, when you see the movies and the pilot is pulling 2 G, this is pulling 500 G within the drum, so you're extracting a lot of the water. And that gets the garments down to 46% residual moisture. That's why you're only down to a 3-minute conditioning time in the tumble dryer. Again, something that's become quite topical at the minute. We're pleased to be on it, as are some of the other manufacturers in the business. It is important to business owners that the machines are on the water technology list. This is a benefit to the owners of the businesses. It's not run by Miele, Electrolux, it's run by DEFRA and our favourite people, the Majesty's Revenue and Customs. So it's independently. The machines have been tested to check the water usage. Water is going to be scarce in many, many years' time. So as a business, if you buy a machine that's on that technology list, you'll qualify for the Enhanced Capital Allowance Scheme. What that does is basically, if a machine costs £5,000, you offset that £1,000 a year. If it's on the technology list, if you spend £5,000, you can offset that against your profits in year 1. So there's a big benefit there in terms of the business owner, or for the business owner. The process, very similar to dry cleaning, in that you've got to sort the laundry. Again, exactly the same. I'm not an experienced dry cleaner, but again, speaking to somebody like my colleague there, Kem, similar process to dry cleaning. Sort the laundry according to the fabric. Inspect the laundry, do your pre-spotting. If you're processing in wet cleaning machines, you'll have different programs. I'm trying not to sell meal. We come with 3 standard programs, and you can add many ones. Drying, depending on the nature of fabric, as I mentioned, around about a 3-minute drying time or conditioning time. And again, post-spotting where necessary. Reproofing of weatherware, so again, that can be done in the machines at the same time. And starching as appropriate, depending on what you're processing. And then, of course, ironing and finishing. Again, our partners are Chrysler. Again, I've been told not to stick on this one too much. Everybody is here today, so again, rather than run through this now, go to the various stands within the exhibition. That is our partner for the finished equipment. They're the pieces of equipment that you would need to finish the process. Importantly to you guys, what are the benefits of wet care? It uses water, it doesn't use solvents, you don't need solvent licenses, there's no chemicals to the user, customer are closed. And again, feedback from the dry cleaners that have introduced wet care is the customer clearly states straight away they're noticing the smell of the garments being fresh. Some soils are removed more easily, sugars and salts, and sweat, so I believe, that's one of the big ones. And again, you haven't got the burden of the health, safety and environmental regulations. They're reduced greatly. It's environmentally friendly. We're working with the government at the minute to try and get this endorsed, and we're quite a way down the line on that one. But again, from a business user, it reduces energy consumption by up to 50%. It reduces water consumption by up to 30%. And importantly, no air pollution. We mentioned already about the short running times. So from a business viewpoint, business growth opportunities, a lot more items can be washed. And items that might not be able to be dry cleaned can be washed. Surprisingly, one of the guys that came on the stand this morning, and I've used these because the dry cleaner I'm talking about, Dry Clean by Olivia, is doing Oaks, but more importantly, it's doing things like Mulberry handbags. £2,000–3,000 handbags being wet cleaned. You know, you don't want to put your Mulberry handbag through there. But yeah, I mean, it's a great chance to increase your profitability, to be honest. And gentle process, so even sensitive fabrics can be washed, where years ago you couldn't process because it hadn't been defined. This is interesting. This is totally independent. A recent survey that we had done independently of 1,200 women. This sounds a bit like the TV programme. 5.5% have items that are dry clean only. 60% have clothes that they've never had dry cleaned. 12% of women don't have the clothes dry cleaned because of the smell. But this is the unbelievable one. As I say, this is totally independent, and we can get you results of this. 67% of those 1,200 women would be interested in using a cleaning method that uses water and is free from chemicals. Again, increasing awareness. We're working very closely with some of the clothing manufacturers, and Hugo Boss, top-end garment, have actually now in their care label got the W sign. So again, from a potential business viewpoint, and again we are working with various manufacturers of clothing, trying to get them to introduce. They don't believe that their garments can be wet cleaned. Every test that's been run has proved that the garments can be wet cleaned. So again, watch this space with the care labels. What could it mean for your businesses? Solvent ruling, I do say may, I don't say will, may come to the UK in the future. It's already in Europe. Our colleagues in France done 220 wet care installations, because in France, solvent isn't allowed to be in the town centre. So Paris, for example, cannot have solvent in the city. So again, massive growth there. Wider variety of items can be washed at the same time. And again, from your viewpoint, it's very marketable. Several sites that have moved into wet care, not totally across to wet care, have seen a massive increase in the business because of this freshness that they see when they come back from the cleaners. And again, from our viewpoint and the other manufacturers' viewpoint, it's very receptive to the media because it's environmentally topical, and the press and the industry magazines are interested in running stories on it. Some of our established dry cleaners, Kem, 2.5 years doing wet cleaning. This is Acorn Dry Cleaners. I don't know if the lady in here, she is in the audience. Not met yet, looking forward to meet later on. I think I'm right, this is the dry cleaners that is doing 100% wet care. Yeah, and I'm getting the signal there that she is. So 100% wet care. Haven't been going for too long, but awarded the 1,000th customer a special award a few weeks ago. So massive growth for that business, which is really good. And again, Elias Dry Cleaners, which by their own name is London's premier dry cleaner, but again, we could put many names up there, but they're three of our key partners in wet care. And really, that's it on wet care. I don't know if there's any questions from the floor. If there's machine questions, I'll gladly take them. Chemicals, or if we haven't got time, all of the manufacturers are got stands upstairs or downstairs. You're more than welcome to come in and ask any questions.
Okay, so thanks very much indeed.
Okay.